Today's webinar is getting to know the Missouri Model IEP forms. My name is Rodney Cook and I'm the Special Education Compliance Consultant for the St. Louis Regional Professional Development Center and for the Cooperating School District. Thank you for joining me. So where to begin? The Model IEP forms can be found on the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education website under Special Education Compliance. If nothing else, just Google search for it. We are only going to be discussing the Model Individualized Education Forms today, hence the red arrow. Missouri, like other states, loves its forms, and in the future I will attempt to examine other model forms provided by the Office of Special Education. All the information I will be giving you today is taken directly out of the Missouri State Plan for Special Education as of June 2013. I will show you the form and then read the requirement from the State Plan for Special Education. The term Individualized Education Program, or IEP, means a written statement for each child with a disability that is developed, reviewed, and revised in a meeting and must include the following. A statement of the child's present levels of academic achievement and functional performance, including how the child's disability affects the child's involvement and progress in the general education curriculum, i.e. the same curriculum as for non-disabled children. Or for preschool children, as appropriate, how the disability affects the child's participation in appropriate activities, and for children with disabilities who take alternative assessments aligned to alternative achievement standards, a description of benchmarks or short-term objectives. B. A statement of measurable annual goals, including academic and functional goals, designed to meet the child's needs that result from the child's disability to enable the child to be involved in and make progress in the general education curriculum, i.e. the same curriculum as for non-disabled children, or for preschool children, as appropriate, to participate in appropriate activities and meeting each of the child's other educational needs that result from the child's disability. For children with disabilities who take alternative assessments aligned to the alternative achievement standards, a description of benchmarks or short-term objectives. C. A statement of the special education and related services and supplementary aids and services based on peer-reviewed research to the extent practical to be provided to the child or on behalf of the child, and a statement of the program modification or supports for school personnel that will be provided to enable the child to do the following. 1. To advance appropriately towards attaining annual goals. 2. To be involved in and make progress in the general education curriculum. 3. To participate in extracurricular and other non-academic activities. And 4. To be educated and participate with other children with disabilities and non-disabled children in the activities described in this paragraph. This statement must specify whether the student needs transportation as related service. If the IEP team determines transportation is not necessary as a related service, the IEP document must reflect this. Again, as mentioned in C, a statement of program modifications or supports. We will be discussing this form again shortly. D, a statement of the child's participation in physical education. And E, an explanation of the extent, if any, to which the child will not participate with non-disabled children in the regular class or in activities described in letter C previously. F, a statement of any individual appropriate accommodations that are necessary to measure the academic achievement and functional performance of the child on state and district-wide assessments. Continuing with the letter F, as previously mentioned, even though you see Form D in front of you. Continuing again with the letter F, even though it's Form D, notice this form is specifically for English language learners who are also eligible for special education services. And this is continuing with the letter F and with Form D for English language learners, and this is the second part of that form. Again, for students who qualify for special education and who are ELL students. If the IEP team determines that the child shall take an alternative assessment on a particular state or district-wide assessment of student achievement, a statement of why the child cannot participate in the regular assessment and why the particular alternative assessment is appropriate for that child. G. The projected date for the beginning of services and modifications described in letter C previously, and the anticipated frequency, location, and duration of those services and modifications. And H, a description of how the child's progress toward the annual goals described in the letter B previously will be measured, and when periodic reports on progress the child is making toward meeting the annual goals, such as through the use of quarterly or other periodic reports, concurrent with the issuance of report cards, will be provided. I, a listing of the individuals who attended the IEP meeting and their role. This indicates attendance only, not necessarily agreement with the IEP. Please note, persons do not have to sign this form. This form is documentation of who participated. J, a statement indicating the child's eligibility or ineligibility for extended school year services. If you do say a student is eligible for ESY, then Form B should be completed, which indicates what services the students will get during that ESY period. K is a statement of the placement considerations and decisions. As appropriate, transition services, which are discussed in greater length on page 43 of the state plan, must be included when a child is turning 16 during the IEP cycle or is 16 years of age or older. I will discuss these issues related to transition planning at a later date. Again, as appropriate for children who are blind or visually impaired, and for more information you can see page 43 of the state plan. If you did complete Form A, you would also complete the boxes on this page on special considerations. So you would check yes, and if yes, you would complete Form A, blind and visually impaired. Again, the present level. In developing each child's IEP, the IEP team must consider A, the strengths of the child, B, the concerns of the parents for enhancing the education of their child, and C, the results of the initial or most recent evaluation of the child, and lastly, D, the academic, developmental, and functional needs of the child. The IEP team must also, A, in the case of a child whose behavior impedes his or her learning or that of others, consider the use of positive behavioral interventions and supports and other strategies to address that behavior. For children whom a behavior intervention plan is developed, the plan must be included in the IEP. B, in the case of a child with limited English proficiency, which may be me, consider the language needs of the child as those needs relate to the child's IEP. And C, consider the communication needs of the child, and in the case of a child who is deaf or hard of hearing, consider the child's language and communication needs, opportunities for direct communication with peers and professional personnel in the child's language and communication mode, academic level and full range of needs, including opportunities for direct instruction in the child's language and communication mode. And D, consider whether the child requires assistive technology devices and services. This has been an overview of the Missouri Model IEP forms. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. I can be reached at rcook@csd.org or via the phone at 314-692-1239. If you are in Missouri or a member of CSD and would like on-site PD or TA regarding IEP development or other compliance-related issues, do not hesitate to contact me. If you are outside Missouri and or not a member of CSD, I am more than willing to make a recommendation for persons or agencies that can provide assistance. Thank you.